Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm Ernest Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. You've got potentially the game of the week in college football, unless you think it's Georgia and Tennessee, but it's the Washington Huskies traveling to the Oregon State Beavers. Washington's undefeated, and Oregon State has 2 losses. Imagine what the hype for this game would be if Oregon State was undefeated, but Oregon State did lose to Washington State back when the Cougars actually were playing well. And they lost to Arizona on the road also, which Arizona is playing much better football lately. But this is still a big-time matchup. College game day, a lot of people think should be at this game, but instead they decided to go to the James Madison game, which I understand because James Madison should be able to make a bowl game, but the NCAA has ruled that they cannot. But this game right here between Washington and Oregon State deserves the headlines that it's getting, because Washington, if they lose this game, maybe they're not out of the playoff hunt, but their chances to make the playoff are way down, because it's going to be very hard for them to make that back up in the rankings, losing this late in the season. And Oregon State, they've played spoiler in the past. They've beaten USC tons of times in Corvallis when they've been big underdogs, and this year they're not even an underdog. Oregon State is favored in this game, so the odds makers believe that Oregon State has a shot to win, but Michael Penix, he's at the top of the Heisman race, but DJ Uiagalelei, don't count him out. He's been playing pretty solid as well. Martinez on the ground's been solid for the Beavers. Me and Will and D, we preview and predict this massive Pac-12 matchup, and whether we think that Washington can keep their unbeaten season alive and be able to knock off the Oregon State Beavers on the road, or whether we believe that Oregon State can stay in the Pac-12 title race by spoiling Washington's undefeated season and possibly their college football playoff hopes as well with a big home win over the Washington Huskies. So Washington and Oregon State, this game right here is a game that is scary for Washington. They're undefeated, they're in the playoff race, but going to Corvallis is a scary thing. They have a small stadium, but their fans are loud. They're raucous. DJ Uiagalelei has not been perfect, but Oregon State is a good rushing attack with Martinez on the ground. They've got a pretty decent defense, as you've mentioned tons of time this season, Will. They're not as good on defense as they were last year, and you're absolutely correct, but they're still decent. Washington's a great offensive team, but their defense isn't good enough for them to be a title contender, be able to win it all. And I think that's going to hurt them in this game. I think they're going to give up points. There's no way that they're not going to give up points in this game, because Oregon State is too good of an offense, and being at home, that I think they will put up a lot of points on Washington. The key is that Washington's defense just needs to get enough stops, a stop or two, to be able to allow Michael Penix to get enough points up in yards through the air. And if they can get Dylan Johnson going on the ground, it's not going to be as easy as putting up 256 on the ground against USC. Oregon State's not going to allow Washington to run the football as well. I'm going to go with Washington to win 38-35. I almost picked Oregon State. I was this close, but I'm going to go with Washington to win in Corvallis. But, man, that is going to be a tough game for the Huskies, and I could easily see Oregon State winning.
What's the line at? I want to go 42-31, Washington.
Oregon State's favored by 2.
Okay. I don't know, man. I trust Michael Penix a little more than DJ. So that's why I went with the Huskies, 42-31.
I mean, it is the key. I mean, when you talk about the scoring in this game, Washington's defense just has to stop Oregon State enough, and then they have to score enough to win. That's just the way it is. So if Washington can get in the high 30s, I think they got it. But if they're, shut down a bit by Oregon State's defense and they're like in 28, 31 points, they could lose. So it's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to this one for sure. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below whether you think that Washington or Oregon State will be able to win this big Pac-12 matchup and why. And what you think about me and Will and D's pick for potentially the game of the week in college football. Follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description, and I will see you next time.